YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, The Sims Chronicles. So as you guys can see here, we have Rose Cullen. This is going to be an exciting episode because I plan to do rotational gameplay. So let's get straight into the storyline. So this is Rose Cullen. If you guys are not familiar with her, she is included in some of my other gameplays on my channel. And so this is going to be behind the scenes where I will be sharing the lives of the friends of Adam and Eve from my Bible Legacy Challenge that I have on my channel. So these Sims are going to have drama. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn lessons. And I think you guys should really get relaxed, get some snacks, because we're about to get into the drama, okay? So let's get straight into her storyline. So Rose is a young woman whose heart is as big as her past, which is complicated. Her teenage years were marked by heartbreak, leading her to make a solemn vow to God to be abstinent, determined to protect herself from further pain. But as she steps into her young adult life, she meets Don Lothario. We all know him, a charismatic, seemingly perfect guy who hides a player's heart. Rose, blinded by her longing for love, falls for him and finds herself in a whirlwind of emotions, ultimately breaking her vow to God. Now her journey is filled with twists, turns, and a whole lot of drama as she turns to navigate love, trust, and her own self-worth. Okay, now that you guys are filled in on everything that happened before and now in Rose's life, I think we should get into the drama that's going to be happening in this episode. As you guys can see, from the little thought bubble above her, she is thinking about going to the restroom. However, before we get into that, we're going to give a little tour of this cute little apartment that Rose is living in right now. I think the place came out so pretty. I got this place off of the gallery, and so I decorated it myself as well because the apartments came empty. So yeah. So here's the living room. I kind of went for a nude vibe with green accents, and I think it came out really cute. This is the dining table. She lives alone, so she didn't really think to kind of decorate too much. She's kind of a simple girl, and I really do like the vibes that this apartment's giving. It's kind of a townhouse. It's pretty big, honestly. Like, you know how townhouses have multiple floors? Yeah. So here's the kitchen. I think this place is so cute. I love these counters that came with that one kit. I don't know. It's like one kitchen kit. And then this is like a corridor that goes into this front door space here where the staircase is. And then the restroom. And I think the staircase is such a cute color. I love it. And then this is her room. She has some boxes set up because she's kind of still, moving in and things like that. She just moved into this new place. So, yeah, we have a lot of empty rooms. And obviously, yeah, she's still going to have to get used to this place. It's such a big space. So let's get into this. Okay, so yeah, she wants to use the restroom, but we're not going to have her do that. We are going to have her do a pregnancy test, okay? Because obviously, as you guys know, she had intercourse with Don. So she's kind of been feeling a little bit sick. She's been feeling a little bit off. So she's like, okay, I need to really make sure everything's okay. And that's obviously the main thing that has happened in her life that has been different. Like, she has not been doing all this other stuff. It's like, okay, it might just be the pregnancy. It might just be something that she's dreading so much. So, this is something she does not really want to do, but she kind of has to do it just to face the facts and face the real truth about things. So oh my gosh, Rose, she is not taking this very well. Obviously, she does not want children. She knows she's not ready for this, okay? She just got her new place. She really likes her own space. And obviously, she wants children, but just in a more secure relationship. She knows that Don is a player. You know when a girl knows, but it's like, she still likes him. He's still behaving for all she knows. But Honestly, she's just gonna distract herself with some video games. Unwanted child on the way. Rose did not expect to have a child and is really not sure that she wants it at all. But it's happening. What should she do? Girl, I do not know. I do not know what she should do. But honestly, I'm gonna have her come and eat this tortilla really quick. And honestly, she just needs a distraction. But she still needs to eat, and I'm gonna also have her just get ready for the night and just take a shower and go to sleep, okay? And we're gonna call it a night for today. So Rose woke up feeling very sad, and it says, not ready for this. Sometimes the torturous nature of being pregnant at a time when you don't want a child hits you like a train. Y'all, she's going through it. But what I will say is I think she is gonna take this time to encourage herself, and like she's like, I got this, okay? God's gonna see me through. Like, as much as I might have failed him this time, he can never fail, okay? Can I get an amen? So Rose is gonna take a little bit of a break, and she's going to just go ride her bike around the neighborhood. So she lives in Hanford Bagley, and I feel like this town or this world is really one of the prettier towns that the EA team has let out. I really do love the town, and it is a bit rainy today. This is not really the best weather to go out and experience nature, but I think with Rose being so tense, she really just needs this time alone. So she's gonna call Dawn as soon as she gets home so that they can have their little talk, because there's a lot to talk about. Let's be real. Dawn has declined hanging out with Rose. Try getting to know him better. Also, a Sim's mood can change the outcome. Sometimes talking in person is the best option. Who does Dawn think he is? I'm sure Rose was being very rude on the phone, and she was probably like, we need to talk now. And he was like, who does she think she is? Like, who is this talking to me like this? But Rose just needs to be nice about it, okay? We're gonna try this again, okay? But the fact is, let's be real, Rose is not gonna be nice about it. She's very annoyed. So she's like, we're gonna meet or we're through. And there Dawn goes, because he knows she's not to be played with, okay? Like, so they made it to the little location where they're going to be having their little talk. And let's be real, I am very nervous about how this is gonna go. Like, how is Dawn really gonna take this news? Because you know him, like, he probably has so many baby mamas. Like, how is he really gonna take this? And I don't know how he really feels about Rose, but he is here, so let's see. So she's like, what happened earlier, and why didn't you want to have this talk? And he's like, oh yeah, I was just busy with a lot of things. And he's like, are you okay? And she's like, I have a lot on my mind, okay? And that's why we're here trying to talk. And he's like, wait, I hope it's not too serious. Like, you're scaring me now. What's going on? So Rose knows now is the best time to break the news. She cannot hold it in any longer, okay, y'all? She's kind of scared to say it. So this is where Rose is like, I think maybe we can make this work. Like, maybe we can actually have a family, something like that. And he's like, I don't think that would work. I just can't. I'm not ready for that right now. And he's honestly gonna bring up this interaction always makes me laugh. But anyways, he's gonna bring up the fact that she should do an abortion, and she's gonna brush that off. She's gonna be like, no, I am not doing that. As long as he or she is growing inside of me, I am keeping this baby. And he's obviously irritated, like, it's not just your baby, it's our baby, okay? And if I say that we should do an abortion, I think that you should at least consider it. And then she's like, I don't have to consider anything you say, okay? And you don't even want the baby. Unwanted child on the way. What will Dawn and his partner do? They did not plan to have a baby, and they don't want this pregnancy to be, but it's a little late to think that way now. But look what I found, you guys. Mora? Bar of romance? Hello? This man is cheating on Rose, but Rose doesn't know it yet. Only we do. Now they're gonna come and get some food. I think I'm gonna order them some cannolis. That sounds really good. And I can just imagine how the conversation went, and Dawn seems very angry still. Just the fact that they weren't able to come to a common ground about the baby. I mean, it's pretty unfortunate because Rose is pretty adamant about this baby, and it's pretty sad that he doesn't want to keep their child. Like, what's the beef? For real, this barista is actually decent. Wait. Y'all, I'm acting like I'm not the one that placed him into this world, but yeah, he's a very fine sim. I have some plans for him. I'm not gonna spoil anything too soon. Can y'all believe Dawn came all the way from upstairs just to argue with us some more? Is he real? Because he's about to get slapped up his head. For real. He's over here yelling at Rose, and Rose is not even about it. Because the fact is, you're not carrying this baby. I am. Okay? So you're not making the decision of whether we're going to abort the baby or not. Simple. Point blank. Okay, what am I saying? Point blank period. Okay? Y'all, what is happening in this episode? This is so chaotic. Something seems to be wrong with Rose's pregnancy. Rose will be going to the hospital. Y'all, one thing about it, we cannot lose Rose. That's the thing. Like, it's too much going on. It says something seems to be wrong with Rose's pregnancy. Rose is having strong stomach cramps all of a sudden, and it seems she is bleeding. Better go to the hospital and quickly. Y'all, this might just mean she might be having a miscarriage. But let's think about it. Would she be happy about this? Because as much as she does not want the baby to be aborted, but if it happens naturally, then she wouldn't have that guilt that she went to go do it herself. So in a way, she's kind of happy. And Dawn is like, I mean, as long as she's okay. So he's like panicking in that restaurant. But she has to go alone. So let's see how this goes. And I'll be right back. Okay. Rose is back and the doctors intervene to help Rose. And luckily, Rose did not lose her baby yet. It is best to be careful onward. So as if things couldn't have gotten any worse, Rose has just gotten a whole scare. So her movie says just a scare. Rose did not lose her baby or her health. Whether you want a baby or not, a miscarriage would be serious. And even though Rose might have had fleeting thoughts that it would have been a fitting nightmarish end to a nightmare, it still is a relief that it did not happen. Oh, so something in her is like, I low-key want this baby, and I don't want this baby to die, especially this way. But she's just going through a lot this episode. I honestly feel so bad for her. So Rose is currently back at home, and she honestly is still not feeling herself, unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna just come in here and just relax. I think that's what she needs. But I think she's trying to have a conversation with, what's his name? This is what's her name? Melei's husband. Yes, he's such a friendly person that I think he saw her and was like, oh, I hope everything's okay, because he just saw her facial expression and, you know, all the stress that's just showing on her face, and he's like, I hope everything's okay, you know, I'm just around town over here and I just thought to check in with you since I saw you. Oh, and look how her whole spirit was uplifted. Now she's very playful instead of tense, just because he started talking to her. I love that. Like, oh, because he's such a friendly friend, honestly. And, you know, Melei and his family, of course, we're going to get into their storyline. But I think they're just a nice little friend group that they check up on each other. And it really does help with each other's stresses. Okay, when someone's stressed, when a friend comes in and they just show compassion and just check up on you, it does so much. And so she's gonna honestly welcome him inside, and they're gonna have a snack together while she kind of vents to him, because not in a way where she's like being how could I say this is gonna be just a friendship thing. Obviously, she's not trying to get with Melei's husband, of course, but this is just going to be more of like, he's really concerned, he really wants to know what's up, and I think Melei would really be appreciative of him doing this to her friend, you know. And so they're just gonna come inside. She's gonna make him a little snack plate thing that they could just eat while they're talking. So she's actually made the meal. So I'm gonna have her. Obviously, she took a serving, but I don't know if Malay's husband's gonna take a serving. But I think that looks so good. Like, I need a piece of that for real. So she's gonna call him to eat. So now that they're both seated, I'm gonna have her tell him about her unwanted pregnancy. And I feel like she's a very expressive person, so she's very comfortable talking about her situation with people, which is not always good because it depends on who you're talking to. And hopefully she learns that lesson soon. But yeah, I mean, she just feels comfortable with Malay's husband, and he's just been really friendly since she saw him in the parking lot. So she's like, this is what's happening. And he's like, no, really. And I want y'all to think in the perspective of they're Christians and he's a Christian as well. And he knows that she's a single woman. And so that might have meant that she kind of fell into fornication. Or is it adultery? No, fornication. And so, this is a situation where he's like kind of shocked, but he's not judging, of course. So Alika's on his way out, and I'm gonna have her take a good shower before the dinner tonight. Remember, we're having a dinner with her pastor so that she can have a conversation with them about her situation. And obviously she's still feeling tense about the baby, but I'm sure she'll kind of feel better after talking to the pastor. So yeah, we're gonna just plan this event really quick. All right, so we are going to do it for Thursday, of course, and it's going to be a dinner party. Yeah, so then we're gonna have her be the host, and then we're going to obviously add Dawn, and then yeah, so we're gonna invite the pastor's wife and the pastor. Obviously this is not an invite thing because this is gonna be at their house, so it's more of she kind of called them and is like, oh, I really need to talk to you guys. I will be bringing one of my friends, quote unquote. Y'all know they more than friends. Well, are they though? Because the way Dawn acts. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna do it at their house, and yeah, it's gonna be right now. So they finally arrived, and I'm gonna come over inside the house to have Rose kind of start cooking up the dinner they're going to make. She was honestly supposed to, or dinner they're supposed to eat, that's what I meant. She was supposed to make this at her house, but things got busy. So yeah, she's gonna get that started, and then I'm gonna have Dawn actually set the table. Because we can't have him just doing nothing. Like, let's be real. But I think Dawn is a little bit confused as to why they're even here. Because he personally does not share his business all around. He keeps a very private life. Whereas Rose is very open about her feelings, especially with her church members. And so he sees this as kind of like an unnecessary task, and he's just here, I guess, to support so he won't be like a bad person. But does he really care about it? I don't think so, y'all. Unfortunately, I really don't. Like, yeah, he's doing what he's told. Like, she probably called from the kitchen like, Dawn, can you please set the table? Something like that. But the food's ready anyways, so we're gonna just set it on the table, and we're gonna call everyone to the meal. So this dinner is honestly just for the pastor's wife, the pastor, and obviously Dawn. I don't want the daughters to be there. So yeah, I'm just going to steady sit them on the dining table so they won't get up. Because the Sims, they love to get up and wander when they're in between conversations and while they're eating. So yeah, I just want it to be like a very organized dinner. Hopefully it works out like that. Apparently I invited everybody to come and eat, so the daughters are here, but honestly we're just gonna keep the talk normal, probably just asking about how life is. And the pastor's wife is probably like, oh, it's been long that we've seen you at church, I hope everything's okay. And Dawn's obviously making a face like church. But he knows that she's a church girl. Obviously, the bad boys, they love church girls. It's a problem, okay? But anyways, yeah, so they're just really socializing normally, getting to know each other, I guess. Honestly, they're flirting. Hello. Not at the dining table, not at the dinner table. I guess they're being friendly. Okay, and flirting. Yeah. So they moved the dinner over to the living room. And so I'm gonna have Rose just kind of thank them for dinner, and just offer gratitude for even inviting them over to their house and just having a nice night all in all. And then they're gonna start this conversation because we need to get down to business. So let's see how they react, honestly, because I feel like Rose is a little bit nervous. A lot of people judge in the Christian community. That's the honest truth. And so Rose is like, she doesn't know how this is gonna go, but she really does want to be honest with the people around her. She doesn't want to live a fake life, and that's just her. So yeah, especially since she's gonna be showing soon, she doesn't want it to just appear and people will see her around. You know, they're in a small town, Hemford on Bagley. So I'm gonna start telling them about the news, and the pastors are really sad for her. She's like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Because at the end of the day, life is an up and down cycle, and God sees us and he knows, and he's very merciful. But of course we shouldn't take that mercy for granted. And so she's gonna tell the pastor about the news as well, even though in real life she would have just told them together, and you know, it would have been like a move on type of thing. But the pastor is definitely going to advise her and kind of comfort her about the situation, because he already knows she's probably beating herself up enough. And he's gonna remind her that God is a very forgiving God. Not that we should take it for granted, but that he would definitely see that, you know, we are not perfect, and he will definitely forgive her the same way he forgave David when he slept with Bathsheba, somebody else's wife, by the way. That story is very, very interesting. But yeah, so I feel like she feels really encouraged after this. Like, life just comes with ups and downs, but I feel like the pastor would bring up, ultimately he's gonna bring up the fact that they should get married. And Don Don is like, huh? But he's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna, you know, kind of make a face. And we know that he has a trait of being non-committal, so this is very interesting. He's not gonna go well with this. And of course Rose is like, oh, this could be a great thing, you know, because she would rather have a man that's her husband, that's actually the father of her child, compared to somebody that's like a stepdad. That's just her own preference. And so she's actually interested in something like this. So yeah, y'all, this was really fun. I hope you guys really like the storyline and how it's starting with my rotational gameplay. Please stick around for the next episode, because the next episode is going to be another family that we'll be playing with. I'm not going to tell you who, but y'all are going to be very much enjoying the next episode, trust. So yeah, let's see what happens next, honestly, in their story, because the way it ended, I don't know how Dawn feels about this, to be honest. I don't know. But yeah, catch y'all later. Subscribe, like, comment, and love y'all.